And it's so nice to see the sun after yesterday. Lots of water everywhere. In this pathway, it's the one that I showed you before. You can see it's just one pool of water. How pretty is that? All right, some sunshine, like I said, and now you can see all these pools of water everywhere. Every little dip has water in it. Even if I zoom across to the back there, you can see there's one on the left, other one on the right, and I'm sure there'll be more as you go north. Yeah, lots of water throughout. Estuary had 86 millimeters. And apparently the Estuary River in Estuary Game Reserve, you cannot cross it, so that's a good sign, because obviously that water is also heading this way. And apparently up towards Cape Vidal, Hell's Gate, those areas also had lots of rain, so that stuff is now, that water is all coming into the lake, which is great news. As I scan around, the sea is still a little bit angry, but nowhere near what it was like yesterday. But remember too, the folks, that it's low tide now. Yeah, so I've stopped again where the water was rushing through on the high tide, and that's the gap over there, and then it meanders through into here, and you can see it washed up here. You can see lots of debris lying up on the behind me there on the left, and I showed that little spot yesterday as well on the high tide. But what's really interesting is how much is dug away at this dune, and it's obviously moved all of the sand and deposited over there. So we are heading into the neap tides. So this probably will only flow again on the next spring. So there's a push bar marker, and that's obviously the gap over there that the water comes through. But again, what's interesting now is to see how much it's eaten away at this bank here. I reckon there's probably a meter. It's obviously heading down that way, and what we need is this level to get below the level of the lake, and then she'll start to flow out of here. Not sure if it'll happen, but there's always that possibility, as you've seen over the last while how things have changed. I'm back on the top of this dune, and at least now you can see what's happening with the sunlight, not the rain. So this is where it's washing through, and it comes around at the back of this dune here. And if I zoom into the back there, you'll see there's a log, and that water runs past that log, across here, and into those reeds right there, which then is part of the lake system. And now you can clearly see where the ski boat club is. So I'm basically exactly opposite the speedo club. And if I remember correctly, this is more or less where the mouth used to be of the estuarine system. And then obviously if I go around towards Mapalan, then there was another mouth there at Mapalan, which was the Umfolozi mouth. So once again, I'm standing on top of the southern dune with his gappers. And obviously yesterday, there were lots of salt water flowing down through there. So this was like a little channel forming, but you can see there's not much of a channel left here. Lots of people spending time on the beach, which you can understand after yesterday. And then I come across this side, you can see how the water also trying to push in here. It would be quite interesting if it could get strong enough to push over through to that water there, and maybe around the back here, and then join up with that there, and this will be a little island where I'm standing now. Okay, so now I'm standing at the mouth where the water's exiting, and if you look here, it is flowing extremely strong and extremely fast. Yeah. Don't make predictions, eh? All the people that said it's going to close, well, doesn't look like it now. Anything's possible, but for the moment, there's a lot of water coming out of here. And like I said earlier on the video, that there's been lots of rain up north, so the whole lake system has taken a lot of water too. And then the Amphalosi is now flowing strong, and that's going to take about 4 days to get here. And I do have a photograph that I'll share on the video. But it's incredible to see. As I say, lots of people using the opportunity to come out. Sun is shining, and if I zoom across to there, that's where I parked my bicycle yesterday, up against the pole. So this here was all seawater where I'm standing now. I must say, from the top, the sea looked a lot calmer, but if I zoom in like this, it's still pretty angry. There's some big sets still coming through. The one at the back there now, it's a monster. And remember, this is the low tide. As I ride along, see there's that marker of mine. Scan around, lots of clay, lots of sand has been shifted. There's the other one that I was standing next to, this one. You can see how much sand has been moved across here. So basically where I'm riding now used to be water, and I just spoiled it now for Ian. Sorry, Ian. Well, at least he's a friend of mine, so he's not that angry. But if he had clients with him, I'm sure he wouldn't be so smiling. Beautiful afternoon. What's happening down here this afternoon? Last little bit of the boardwalk this afternoon. Okay, so heading away from Springs, and you can see the sea is not big enough. Water level is not high enough to come over the top, and they wash over the top here and head down through this channel. So we'll have to wait for the next Springs to see what happens. But for now, you can see on the high tide, not much of movement as you've seen in the past 2 days. So even although there's quite a large swell, it still hasn't come anywhere close to what it was like yesterday and the day before. As I said before, remember we're heading towards neap tides, so the sea is obviously, or the tide is a lot lower in your springs. See here, the water is sort of, one little wave is pushed over, but remember the bank is large, so there's still a fair amount of seawater coming through. And like I said earlier, if I watch this wave coming in now and I zoom into the marker there, the pole, you can see a lot smaller than yesterday. But remember where I'm standing now, in the past, and where that wave is pushed through in the back there, that was all the lake system, but now these reeds have all been covered with sand, beach sand, so it'll kill all of this. And if I scan across here, you can see the reeds sticking out through the sand. Now basically where I'm standing, if I scan right around, you see the reeds here. I would be standing in the water in the old days. So this sand is pushed right in. Interesting to see what it does, the effect. But remember the water is now right across there where the shiny bit is. There's still lots of reeds and stuff, but the channel should stay open because of all the fresh water coming through. Zoom into the max here, you might be able to see the color line there in the background of the Umfolozi pushing up against the tide. Before, interesting times ahead, and this is the high tide tonight, this afternoon. The water coming through now once again, and nowhere near as impressive as yesterday. Well folks, until the next video, be safe everybody.